Let me recognize the gentlelady from Washington State, Ms. DelBene, to strike the last word.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to you and the staff for all of the work that you've done to prepare this very critical legislation. 1 year and 21 days ago, the CDC confirmed the first case of COVID-19 in the United States. That first case was in Snohomish County, Washington, the region that I represent. That man was fortunate enough to have survived, but nearly 5,000 Washingtonians have not been so lucky. Mr. Chairman, it's been a long and tiring journey for my constituents, and I'm pleased that we're moving this week's legislation to provide greater relief to the families and workers who've been hit so hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. Washington State has a 7.1% unemployment rate, meaningfully higher than the national average. And Congress must act swiftly and decisively. And that's why I'm so pleased to see robust benefits for unemployed workers in the Ways and Means package. This dual economic and public health crisis is unprecedented, and only unprecedented action will meet the moment, a moment that's lasted over a year for my constituents. I'm pleased to see the longest extension of emergency UI provisions since the CARES Act in this bill. This will provide several months of vital unemployment insurance support and give workers and states greater certainty. This provision is critical for my district, which has been dealing with the economic fallout from the public health emergency longer than anywhere else in the country. I'm also pleased to see additional relief for nonprofits, a provision that I led with my colleague from Illinois, Representative Sean Casten. Our provision increases the vital federal reimbursement to cover unemployment costs for nonprofits from 50% to 75%. At a time when nonprofits are responding to more demand than ever from their communities, but with fewer resources, it's common sense for the federal government to step up and provide assistance. For example, the Washington State YMCAs have spent $6 million on UI costs, all while increasing services to accommodate increased demand from school closures. Washington Ys have stepped up to provide full-time childcare for first responders and other essential workers during school closures. Childcare is critical so parents can return to work and our economy works again. This relief is sorely needed, and I want to thank Chairman Neal and Morna Miller from the Worker and Family Assistance Subcommittee for helping to make sure this fix was included. This will be the second extension of UI benefits, and I'm concerned that if the economy is not vastly improved by the end of August, an additional extension could be warranted. My colleague, Mr. Beyer, with the backing of the New Democrat Coalition, which I chair, has been pushing for automatic stabilizers, which would deploy enhanced UI benefits based on economic metrics, like the unemployment rate. I know that once we defeat the coronavirus, we'll be on a good footing to get our economy back on track, as long as a premature discontinuation of benefits is prevented. A UI system that includes automatic stabilizers would provide workers and states a level of certainty that we can't guarantee under our current program. I look forward to continuing that conversation and working with my colleagues to modernize our UI system. Again, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and all of the Ways and Means Committee staff for your tireless work on the American Rescue Plan. And I yield back.